Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omoyira Oluwatosin, and if this is your first time or stopping by, please support me by clicking on the subscription button and also on the notification bell so that once I upload a new video, you'll be among the first person to get the notification. On the channel today, I'll be teaching you how to cut this kimono dress. It is going to be like a cut and sew with me tutorial. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the tutorial. And these are the measurements needed for this tutorial. This is the beautiful fabric we'll be working with. The next thing you want to measure is the shoulder to around the nail measurement where you want your fringe to start from. The fringe I'll be working with is 20 inches, so I minus 20 inches from the full length of my client's dress. The rest is for the upper part of this dress. So I folded my fabric, and at this point I knew I was doing the wrong thing because I remember that my client said she wants a zip at the center back of her dress. So I don't want my dress to have a seam line on the shoulder. Now the dress is going to have a seam line on the shoulder. That's why I'm cutting it to have two separate pieces. So I'm going to fold the front and back separately so that we will have a zipper at the center back of this dress. I place the front on the back and roll the zipper allowance. After that, this is what you should have. The next thing you want to do, you want to measure the full gown length minus the fringe allowance. So I have 42 and I added 1 inch for sewing allowance for stitching the shoulder line and the hem line to the fringe. On the shoulder line, I mark my knee to sleeve measurement minus 3 inches because I'm going to add a curve, the black curve that we have around the sleeve of the clothes. I mark my half length, which is the full front length, my hip line and my waistline. So the width I'm working with is 4 inches, and I'm marking 1 inches from that sleeve length and connect it to my neck width. So now I'm going to mark the armhole. My armhole, the sleeve width is going to be 12 inches. I've added my seam allowance. So on that part where you mark your armhole, you are going to mark quarter of your bust measurements plus 1 inches is and 1 inches for seam allowance. That means you're adding extra 2 inches. On the waistline, you mark quarter of your waist measurement plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance. You pay the same thing for the hip line, quarter of your hip measurements, 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance, because you want this dress to be close fitted on you. And on the hem line, you want to mark quarter of your hip measurement plus 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance as well. So after I've done that, I'm going to use my pattern master to connect all my points together. So now I'm going to connect the bust to the sleeve. After drawing my sleeve, I'm going to connect the bust to the sleeve and curve that part so that you have that kimono details around the sleeve. So now for the back neck depth, I did 1.5 inches. From the front neck depth, I did 7 inches. So the next thing I want to do, I want to take my scissors and cut out my pattern. I start with the back neck depth, the slants. From the hip line, I cut up to the sleeve. And this is what you should have at the end of the day. Now we are going to cut the front neck depth. It's going to be a V. So that's what we have. You can see what we have now. So I'm going to set this aside. You can see how beautiful the pattern came out. That straight line you are seeing is the zipper part. So that's all. So let's set this aside and work on the pocket that this kimono dress is going to have. On the waistline, I'm going to notch that point. That's where my pocket will start from the waistline. I measure 6 inches into the seam line. That is the width of the pocket. I'm going to notch that part as well. So now I've notched our pocket width. The next thing you want to do, you want to cut your pocket. So what I did, I cut 7 inches against 14 inches. That is the width and length of the pocket. 7 inches against 14 inches. You can do 13 inches, but for this client dress I did 14 inches. You can actually design your pocket by curving the bottom part. I just like mine to be straight, so I'm just trying to get the two part that we add into the left and right side of the dress. So that's that. The next thing you want to do, you want to cut your facing for the back. The back is going to have a facing, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I just folded the remaining fabric that I have. I folded it and I placed the dress on it, the back pattern of our dress on it, and cut the neckline. So the length of this facing is going to be 4 inches. You can work with 2 inches, 3 inches. You can do more depending on what you want. So now that our facing is ready, the next thing you want to cut is the curve that goes round the sleeve. So now to cut this, you need to have a crepe, or you have a duchess, a doll face, depending on the kind of fabric that you want to work with. What I have here is a shiny crepe. It is a leftover from my previous project. So now I'm going to mark 6 inches. I'm making sure that the length is my one sleeve measurements plus the sewing allowance. Once I was sure that I have enough, I marked 6 inches for the width, and the length is going to be your round sleeve measurement plus sewing allowance. So after I was sure that I was okay with what I have, I'm going to make sure I cut a straight strap that goes round the sleeve. So that's that. I'm going to set this aside, just make sure that what I have is okay. So I'm going to set this aside and work on the design that we have on the neck line. If you notice, there's a crepe details around the neckline, and that is what I'm going to cut next. There's a different way to cut these details. You can cut it in form of a placket, and you can follow the steps I'm using in this video. I just folded my fabric and placed my cutout pattern on it. You are going to cut this using the shape of the neckline to get the neck details. I'm just trying to pin to make sure that my pattern is relaxed on it. You can see what I did. I cut it following the shape of the neckline. After that, I'm just going to use my marker pattern master to create the neck details. If you notice in the video, the parts where we have the black details, the black curve detail, it's as if it's standing out. So what you need to iron on your fabric is a stay. Now I'm going to use a stay to get that details. On the curve, you are going to add iron and add stay to it to give you that structure that the sleeve is having. At this point, one of my students was trying to use the table as well. This detail too, I'm going to add net again to the neckline piece as well. So I'll take it to my iron table and iron it very well before I stitch it on the neckline of the dress. For the facing, please add an interfacing to the wrong side. the face that will be at the back, then you take it to your weaving machine and you are going to weave. Now this is the back piece. I've sewn the center back with a loose stitch and I give it a nice press. The next thing I want to do is I want to sew my zip and add a facing to the center back. In between I was teaching, I was attending to my students because I had to sew this. So in between I left what I was doing and was attending to my students. Now you are going to add the zip to the center back and you use the facing to conceal the zip. So I'm going to sew it and bring it back for you guys to see. At the end of the day, this is what the center back of your dress should be looking like. Next, you want to pin the shoulder to shoulder and side seam to side seam before you take it to your iron table and stitch them together. Make sure you pin right side to right side, and that's all. Now this is me putting all my piece together. I'm trying to sew the shoulder line of my dress. After I was done sewing the shoulder line, I sewed the side seam and I added my cuff to this dress before taking it to my weaving machine and weave where necessary. Now after I was done weaving, I took it back to my straight sewing machine, that is my industrial machine. I took it back and add the fringe details. After adding the fringe details, I took it to my iron table and gave it a nice press. So I will show you how the dress turned out. Once again, my name is Omoyira Oluwatosin, and if this is your first time or stopping by, please don't forget to click on the subscription button and also on the notification bell so that once I upload a new video, you'll be among the first person to get the notification. And don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Have a nice day and bye.